Morning, I have here with me an astute political analyst, Mr. Chinedu. Mr. Chinedu, welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on this platform
Okay.
this morning.
As we count down to August, the August has been termed as the month of rage, whereby Nigerians will speak their mind back to the politicians. We have seen how the politicians have been devising several means, several machineries and mechanics to divide the people. But again, yesterday, the Nigerians people have enlisted about 14 demands, whereby they said that they want the bicameral parliamentary system to be dissolved. What we want is just one, whether the House of Rep remains or the Senate remains, but just one. They have said that Tinubu must cut down the cost of fuel. They have said that Tinubu must also increase the minimum wage of the salaries of the Nigerian workers. What is your take on this?
Ah, I don't want to look at those things as something that's going to give the interest, the vision, and the objective of going to the street, to demand government change of some certain policies that has brought, unfortunately, hardship to Nigerians. I believe that the organizers should be able to just one point. You see, all this trying to invade, talk about the system that's going to result to a series of legislation. That's not what we did. We need an emergency solution first before we begin to say by camera this, by camera that. That should not be the focus. I don't want us, the Gen Z generation now, to deviate from driving the objective, the main objective. The main objective is the revelation of hunger in the land. Has been echoed in the House of Representatives, has been echoed in the Senate. They should not bring this by camera, by Latin, by Latin. No, we don't need it now. Let us know what they are doing about bringing the price of fuel down to 100 naira. Let us know what they are doing about the price of food, bringing it down to affordable, at least to affordable price. That is what we want to know. That is what we want to hear. When we begin to outline, a government do this one, government do this one, government must do this one, then they will tell you they are going to the Senate to discuss it. There's legislation. They go pass bill. By the time they pass one bill, 4 years are gone. We don't need that. What we need is an emergency solution. Is it not government? This is government now. Government have what it takes to transform anything at any time. After, when they want to increase fuel price, they don't make it public to anybody. They just come out and announce it. They are buying private jet worth of billions of dollars. They cannot do anything about the minimum wage. They cannot do what are the effect, the economic effect of all these things. Just because they want to protect the president, where we have over 36 presidential jets comatose at Abuja there. Nobody is talking about that. But they are bent on every president that comes to Nigeria must have a private jet, must buy a private jet. This one I want to buy. Where we have these issues. So the bottom board, see, it will explode. There's no how you are going to go about it. You understand? Because now the threat is that it's like the northern part of the country want to step in. And it's going to be very difficult for Tinubu's administration to be able to manage the radicalism that's going to be introduced in the current protest. Then the protest now, how long is it going to run? Is it going to be a day thing? Everybody go to his own house and sit down and wait for government to do one state, make one pronouncement or the other. What is the nature of the protest? Is this going to be sustainable? Are we going to stay on the street until we see that it can happen? Why is it that once Labour is coming with their own, after one day they go and sleep, they say they are a negotiation table. The same after another government will come, they will see Labour surfacing again. Another government will come, see Labour surfacing again. Another government will come, see Labour surfacing again. Why is it that they cannot solve Nigeria one particular issue, solve it once and for all? Can most of these governors, most of these people, they travel out, or is it a deliberate agenda to make sure that the oppression is part of the administration, or is part of the game, or is part of the objective of government, especially in Nigeria? It goes like that.
On the intention of the government, I think they have really tone deaf to the Nigerian people, because these warnings of the looming protest has been on. I mean, we are not yet in August, and the demands are out there. One of the demands is renationalize publicly owned enterprises. One of the demands is also release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Another one, which I know will be difficult, however, is very possible, is massive shake-up in the Nigerian judiciary to remove cabals of corrupt generation. And they also said that we should jettison the 99 constitution. Now, this protest, Nigerians are saying that they will do just as the Kenyans. They will not leave the streets until they start seeing
beautiful
the changes.
Beautiful.
They say they are not going to go to any round table.
Beautiful. And I hope they will not say that it is Nnamdi Kanu that is powering this end bad government. They will not say, because Nigerians, the youths know what Nnamdi Kanu stood for. The youth of this country knows the position of Nnamdi Kanu, that it is not exclusively about Biafra. I keep on saying it here. I've always said it. If you look at the way and manner Nnamdi Kanu is projecting the concept, of redefining or defining Africa, it's not extremely. But in Africa, we need to have a modern nation that other black nations can be proud of. Why is it that people always make reference to Britain, make reference to America? It's because they planned it. If you go to America and say, have you been to Los Angeles? They say, no, I've not been there. You need to go there. You've been to New York City. You say, no, those are foundation prospects that was laid, that has transformed to what people have become to. So that is the point, that in all the countries in Africa that has been dominated by the black, I'm not talking about the Northern Africa, go to those countries, you see extreme poverty, you see extreme oppression, suppression. So looking at it generally, we needed a modern nation that will set the pace of transformation for Africa. And that is what Nnamdi Kanu is projecting. And if you look at it, the whole world, there is sympathy drive for Nnamdi Kanu's release now. But the Nigerian youth from the north, from the west, from the east, is saying, this is it. And the way they are going to go about it, it's like they're beginning to understand now that actually, the revolutionary that tested the ground. I always say it. ANSAS was conducted by anonymous revolutionaries who tested the ground and now said, okay, Nigerians has been dying inside. And now the youth, some of them are exposed, especially those from the social angle, those from the social sector has been exposed to the world. What I mean by social sector, you know what I mean? Those who come from the street and became prominent, people like Victor Simedem, a lot of them, Rema, two guys there from Benin. So when they go there and come back, and in the course of trying to address the streets, they make references of what they observed. Look at the social angle of it too. Sector talking about the comedians. Comedian has perfectly driven the cause of youth rise in Africa with their jokes. But I'm telling you. So that consciousness is what Nnamdi Kanu was busy transferring to the black people, transferring to the black nation, transferring to the black Africa. That makes it that even in Kenya, even in Zambia, in Namibia, in Ivory Coast, Togo, Ghana, anywhere you go, when you see some motivational speakers, pastors in those countries, they make reference to Nnamdi Kanu because of the broader picture he enjoys or he has about how Africa can rise. So you can see Nigerians now, when they were doing it, it started like a joke. There's no federal government input on it. Look at our social sector, people who are driving our social sector today. You cannot say one governor pick one person from the street and turn him a superstar. Where is it? Where did it happen? It has never happened. Comedians, I go die, AY them, go dumps them, name them wherever they are, even the upcoming ones. Grace came upon Nigeria. Grace came on the street, and you see these people begin to rise from nowhere. So when they invite the governor, invite a senator, they sit there, they'll carry my microphone. Hey, Nigeria go good today. They go laugh. Those senators sitting on the front of the seat, they will be laughing. But at the end of the day, they go tell them. That consciousness begin to grow. Today, Nigerian youth step out and said, we don't want SARS that has been killing the streets. If you don't stop it, that's what we are standing up for now today, Mr. Niyi. I can tell you in honest truth that the consciousness has received the fire. And Nigerian government should understand that. I don't know what Wike is trying to say, that he doesn't want to see anybody around FCT. I don't know what the IG is trying to say. He doesn't want to see anybody around FCT. He don't want to see the street, the street go protest over some things they are not comfortable with. Well, of course, the word that the government can do is to open fire. If they open fire, you go and mark my word. I told you the revelation is hunger. The revolution that will throw away these people is going to be end bad government at the end of the day. I told you the revelation is hunger. When you shoot hunger, bros, try it, even in your house. Shoot hunger. That's what the government are telling us now. Whether it's a threat or not, that's their own business. But Nigerians want to see their country work for them.
But why are the government officials, these are the people that the Nigerian people elected, why are they so adamant, apprehensive, and so wicked? Do you know that yesterday there was an expose whereby it was said that the federal government has paid clerks, these are imams in the north. They were paid 16 million to go out there and run a campaign against protests. And this was the reason they were saying in the mosque that protest is an haram. Protest is an haram. Protest is a sin. However, the northerners are now saying that we will protest because the hunger. Why are the politicians why are they not solving the problem? Why are they using the religious leaders to brainwash the people?
Let me tell you, you see, that is why when somebody like Sanusi come as the former CBN governor come out, and of course the current emir of Kano recognized by law, Sanusi, Lamito Sanusi is the emir now recognized by law, whether they like it or not. But what I'm saying is that, the government understand the importance of tradition and culture in the life of the people, especially those who will embrace politics and religion together. It's quite very difficult, especially in the north, But in the south here, we have sects, intellectual sects everywhere. They can come over and argue and tell you that what they're doing is wrong. But that does not take that civility is being threatened and they will not rise up. In the west, they know when they have been threatened. But in the north, they want to look at the man to tell them whether their life is safe or whether they're being. And the man, you don't know what the man is doing behind the closed door. And a person cannot come and say, he's well. You tell for where? Motivational speaking and the reality of divinity is two things. It can come to church and motivate millions of people. Those who you are motivating know that what you are giving to them is pure motivation. But in the other angle, is that motivation attached to the reality of divinity? That is when we begin to have identities, when that's when we begin to have reports, questions over certain things, and that's how the southern Nigeria is. So when that synergy comes in, trying to align to the threat of civility, then we move them away. I told you what the Salite said. He said it very clearly. By the time you continue to bring these old men inside the pond, they will stir it up. They'll turn it to mud. They are playing. You see, it's just like a child playing in the mud. He will roll himself inside the mud and anyhow because he feels that nobody is there. That's what the politicians are doing in Abuja. And it is time for us to say, this mud is gold. We are going to turn it to something so that they will sit at the back seat. Let us drive this thing. So that let us do it. Let them what the Nigerian youth do it. Not somewhere. We don't want somewhere there at all. I don't know. What do they call? Tell the boy, we don't want all these people. Let them go and stay aside. Leave the vision and direction for people, who knows what to do. I'm telling you, because by the time you bring Sowore, by the time you bring Adenuju, what they call it, and this woman that say bring back our girls,
Aisha Yusuf,
we don't need them. We need a fresh face that want to drive this thing, because you see these guys still have some things to do with the past governments. Still have some things to do with senators, governors, presidents. So that will not tell me that he suddenly knew Tinubu. He doesn't know Tinubu. He doesn't know what Tinubu has contributed in his own life. And that it's possible that Tinubu can easily plant him as one of the protesters, and at the end of the day, he could tell the whole world, now, well, no, don't do it. Make we just go rest. Make we give them time. We don't need that. For Sowore to come out and say somebody like Obi is not credible, but doesn't it tell you that something is wrong somewhere? That the projections, forget he come out now and say Nnamdi Kanu. But you knew some time ago that the same Sowore was against Nnamdi Kanu. At what point did he repent? He visited Nnamdi Kanu and there was a connection, and there was a reorientation, and there was a discussion, and the knowledge was being fertilized. He came back and said revolution now. That was how he came out with revolution now. We know all these things. So we don't know those caliber of men in this now. The revelation is hunger, and the revolution is end bad government. Let's see how these two concepts and philosophy is going to be merged into their political scene to transform Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chinedu, for that wonderful submission. Yes, I have here with me Mr. Raphael. Mr. Raphael Mbechi, should I say you are an hungry Nigerian and you are hungry?
Yeah, I'm an angry Biafran, and
currently you are still in Nigeria.
And I can see what is happening in Nigeria. I'm not happy because of the way the leaders are doing things.
Are you in support of the upcoming protest?
Yes, I'm in support, because the reason I'm in support is that I'm a Biafran. As Nigerians are agitating, for good governance here, I will go to Biafran land, agitate for Biafra assent, and be agitating for good governance in the southeastern Nigeria. If the rage is growing here, our rage, my own rage, will be growing in the southeastern Nigeria. But for me to protest in Nigeria, no. I've said it. I should go to southeastern Nigeria and protest, because I know that if I protest here, the whole allegations, the whole facilities, if destroyed or spoiled, they will label the whole allegation on me as an Igbo man. So that's why I should go to southeastern Nigeria, and I'm still imploring all the Igbos, you understand, to go back to the southeastern Nigeria to protest, to avoid having issue with southwest. If they spoil anything here, they will say it's Igbos. So they will use that as an excuse, cause ethnic rift between us and the Yoruba.
Now,
so I know protest is good. I'm even supporting Yorubas, the Hausas, the inhabitant of Nigeria, the Nigerian citizen, to protest. Be resilient about the protest. Do not hijack the protest. Don't let the protest be hijacked by touts. I don't know what to understand. If you want a good leader, look beyond the Yoruba land, people that will lead the protest, so that there will be no sentiment. I don't know what to understand. There will be no emotional tactics. Use mid-belters, Kogide Adia, people from the north. I don't know what to understand. They are there. so that this protest will yield something for Nigeria. But as for me an Igbo man, southeastern Nigeria, we are going there. What Uzodimba is doing is not good. Uzodimba government is not good. Uzodimba is killing Biafrans, Biafra agitators. The same thing with Imba. The same with the one that successor to Omahe. I don't know what I understand. Likewise, my own state governor in Anambra State. What he's doing is not good. I have to protest for the meantime that Nigeria is in control of southeastern Nigeria. We protest against the governors that are fighting and killing the youths, Biafran youths. We protest against leadership there, bad leadership under, Nigeria. I don't know what I understand. As far as I'm concerned, I will not protest in Lagos State. I will protest in Igbo land. You know why? Any protest, go and mark my word, in Nigeria that is successful presently or in the past, go and check the people that are at the head. I don't know what I understand. The people that, started such protests, the people that head it, the main champions of such protests, it should be the Igbos. So that's why I said, we that is always good in doing other regions good, well, we should go home and do our own region well too. We needed good protests, a healthy protest that will throw away hope of them. A healthy protest that should go direct to Alessoti, the best governor, and say, Oga, raise it up more. We need you to come up more. I don't know what I understand. We know you are doing well, but more grace. Add it to your elbow. We should go to Enugu and do something there. Because southeastern Nigeria is politically, socially, and otherwise ailing. Very ill and sick. We don't need to be doing good in the north. If you allow Igbos, they will scatter area in Lagos. It's not good. Don't spoil facilities here. It's southwest. You don't need to spoil their facilities. Leave them, let them do their own protest the way they should do it.
So you mean now you are taking charity back home?
Charity must
Which
be
I feel it's a good idea.
yes, charity must
Which
be
I feel it will be unprecedented that if majorly people can go back to wherever don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Anybody can protest anywhere they like.
I
But if you feel you want to go back home and protest, I think it's a welcome idea.
It's a welcome
the goal is to end bad governance.
Yes.
But why is Wike sending the police to publish a report that nobody will be allowed to protest in Abuja?
You should have known Wike better than I do. Then Wike is always like to be on the news. He's always like to be on the news. If Wike could allow NSAS, it was during his regime as a governor of Rivers State. NSAS, the flame, the fire, engulfed, the whole country. I don't know what I understand. Getting to 2 weeks, he succeeded. So we are talking about hunger here. So Wike can stop hungry people from protesting in Abuja. Do you know the meaning of hunger? Hunger is anger. Do you know the meaning of hunger? Hunger is madness, absolute madness. If Wike tries it to stop protesters in Abuja, show me what an angry man did. I will show you how a hungry man reacts when a mad dog comes closer to him or her. Hungry man is more aggressive than angry man. You can compare hungry man in the level of comparison is equivalent to who? A hungry man, a madman. So if Wike knows he has guts, it should stop protests in Abuja so that he will know what's up. Under too much drinking cannot stop Nigerian youth this time around. If actually that our youth want to take what is theirs, as the Kenyans did, Wike cannot be a stumbling block to what our youth is going to do this time around. Wike is a Tata. Who the hell is he? Is it not people that are supporting him? Those eye service men. Okay, this time around, I don't think police can go anywhere. This time around, what is coming? We are putting it in prayer. We always say, God, oh, so that God will come. Look at Kenya. Beam poles. So I use stripling. beam poles, tendrils. You can't compare Kenyans to Nigerian youth. I mean physically, oh. I don't mean here, oh. Because already we don't debate it, you and I. I told you that they are more advanced, more educated, and that is it. Because if you check the statistics of the North, the whole North, you'll find out that Kenya is having upper hand. When you talk about advancement in science and technology, education and otherwise, you think about southern Nigeria. You can't add the North, because North is off. So that's why I tell you that Kenya, educationally, they are better. So that's what I'm trying to say. If Kenya could contain hunger, okay, the kind of resources southern Nigeria and northern Nigeria have, we can protest 2 months, 3 months non-stopping. Nothing is going to happen. And again, let me tell you, there must be external forces that will synergize with the local one in Nigeria here to make sure that this protest, goes on well.
Wike is also a political juggernaut. Don't forget that when they were in that election issue, there were some people from the Niger Delta that were they were beating the drums of support in Abuja. We saw people who were, protesting in support of Tinubu, that Tinubu is their president. And this government has already also rolled out a banner showing that there will be a protest in support of Tinubu.
That's anti-protest.
A counter protest, which will be done in Abuja. So my final question, my final question to you is, the government has now shared 20 trucks of bags of rice to each state. Are you sure these hungry people will not collect the rice, and on that day we will not see them?
The next question now is that I want to answer your questions. Are you sure hungry people will not collect the rice? Let me tell you. The 20 tons of rice sent to states, hijacked. Who? The same people that hijack incentives during the time of COVID-19, they will still do their good jobs. They know how to do the job. They will say hijack the rice. Remember the 50 billion given to the states? They hijack the billions. This rice, now my for all those governors of those states. Then again, in terms of the question you asked me on the anti or counter protesters is rubbish. Do you know the reason I call those paid protesters that are going to counter Nigerian youth? Oga, they are they are chinching. You know why they are chinching? How many are they? Can Tinubu buy 2 million youths? Is it the money they here? Oga, you are talking about over 80-something million youths against, let's say, 5 million. Oga, they will be swallowed. So it's not going to have any side effects. These anti-protesters or counter-protesters, they're not going to be effectual at all. Because the number of real youths that are coming out this time around outsmarts those counter-protesters. They're going to nowhere. When you talk about resources, when you talk about educational background, we are there. We are better. Who are those counter protesters in the youth? All those Almajiri that are full all over Abuja. How many are they? Through 1,000, all of them will come out. The real well-endowed Nigerian youth will swallow them. They are not going to anywhere now. If you see people that are coming to protest this time around, they are software IT experts, well-educated youths. When you talk about physics, they are there. Physics, they are there. Almajiri, where they eat only rice and they are camel. They will not go school, can never outsmart Nigerian intelligent youths. Okay, I'm telling you now that I'm going to Southeast to protest. Or I'm putting more fuel so that Eastern youths will understand what we are going to do that day. That they should be protesting there. They shouldn't come here. Nobody. See, let me tell you. Those Igbo youths, can you compare them to those Almajiri, Hausa youths that doesn't know their left from their right? Tinubu has brought them. They are hungry. The main hungry youth are there. But because they are not educated, they will say support the same government that is suppressing them. They are oppressor. They are going to celebrate them. While we here, we will be doing the normal job, and other part of the country that have good, well-educated youths. I trust Plateau State. I trust Southern Kaduna. I trust Benue and Kogi State. I don't know what I understand. Then way back to Kwara, they are there. Yorubas and the Southwest. What about Edo? Have you not spoken anything about Edo youths? They are good, Delta, and so on and so forth. Counter protesters will be swallowed. They are not going to make any effect any good effect at all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Raphael Mbechi. Yes, welcome, Pastor. You're looking good.
Thank you for
It
having me.
seems you're all geared up for the motivation. Nigerians at this moment need motivation because they are angry, they are because of hunger, and the days of rage looms. Because for the whole of August, Nigerians have declared protest against the government, and we can say the government, instead of the government to react, at every front to ensure that they give the demand the people are requesting for. They are buying people to go for counter protest. They are sharing rice as palliative, and they are also, issuing threats that if you come out to protest, you'll be considered as a terrorist. Mr. Matthew, is our democracy safe?
I'm gonna tell you that democracy is under threat, and the reason democracy is under threat is not just because of the threat from government with respect to this proposed protest. Recall that recently the president gave those states to APC, and as it stands, the election have not been conducted. Where he was addressing some party supporters and he was asking them whether they want.
What do you mean he gave Edo State to APC?
He
PDP
was
is still the
addressing-
one. PDP is still ruling Edo
I'm
State.
talking about the forthcoming Edo gubernatorial election.
Are you speculating that APC will win?
No, the president, Senator Ameba Atibu, have given it to APC. He was asking the party supporters, his party supporters, do you want Edo back? They said yes. He said, and the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I'll give it to you. So what is surprising is we do not know where the president derive power to decide who to give a state where they are going to an election. And another thing that is surprising is that Mr. President spoke his capacity as the president of Nigeria because he laid emphasis.
Let's go ahead.
So what I was trying to say in essence is,
Let's go ahead.
the president, Nigeria is under threat. Democracy is under threat because after the president said that, subsequently without seeing threat from government agencies, particularly maybe the police, DSS, they are looking at the body language of the president. Whether you like it or not, protest is legitimate, locally and internationally. So I don't think it behoves on, not even behoving, I don't think the police, the army, DSS, name it, have the right to stop anybody from engaging in peaceful protests. The only thing is, when you go about protests, you are not allowed to, you are supposed to do it within the ambit of the law, meaning it's supposed to be peaceful. But warning Nigerians, threatening Bryanstone, I think we are in for trouble. Democracy is under threat.
Well, one of the demands the Nigerian people are stating out there is to have one single House of Assembly. That's enough of the bicameral, and also we're also demanding for the constitutional change, that the 1997 constitution must be jettisoned and we must have a national convention, and afterwards we have a national referendum that will support the constitution. Also, they are demanding for a minimum wage for the civil servant, which is 250,000. I mean, the list is about 14, just like the Kenyans. However, the APC supporters have been mobilized and they are going all out, all full force, using religious institutes. There was a memo that 60 million was given to Muslims, clerks in the north, to probably brainwash the northerners not to join. That 60 million was also given to the pastors in the south. I mean, we know how these religious people are, how they influence the minds of the people. Are you sure our Nigerian youth will not be demobilized using this ugly strategy the presidency is using?
Everything you have said is speculative and it cannot be verified by myself. So to that extent, I think I will leave it in the realm of speculation. But let me say that politics, lobbying is part of democracy. If the government have a way of pacifying the people, or rather disabusing their mind from going ahead with protests, and I think it's legitimate, not using money to beat them anyway, perhaps making them to understand that we are working for you, making them to understand that we have come up with policy now that between now and 180 days window, we are making import duty free on grains. We on our own part, and trying to say what the government have set according to them. I don't know whether it will work. If that is on that basis they are persuading the people, I don't think it's out of place, because according to them, they will import about 250,000 metric tons of rice, beans, and other grain,
and they will be making import duty free on some grains within that same window. So if it is on this basis and some other of their promise and program, they are trying to persuade the people, I don't think it's out of place. But if you are spending public fund to woo people to stop them from this legitimate and just action, I think it's bad.
So, as a Nigerian, I want to ask you a question. Are you not angry enough? Are you in support of the protest?
Mr. Nib, I'm gonna tell you, I'm totally dissatisfied with the way government is being run in Nigeria. I think I've not hidden my opposition to some government policies have been issued. Right from the moment this government unify efforts at the official window, I align my position with that of Obi, because we needed to start producing sufficiently to start exporting to diversify economy from this monopoly of this mono economy we have now of oil. If we are exporting our agricultural products and more foreign exchange from other areas, it will cover the gap that is created now that you unify efforts of the official window. Because the implication is, as it stands, everything we are importing, most of our production sector, the raw material depends on imported raw material. So the implication is a factory, a company that produces bread, that is importing flour, you importing butter, sugar, all these are raw material for their product. Definitely, the unification of efforts of the official window will affect their output. But if we are cultivating cotton, for instance, for fabric, we are cultivating wheat for flour, and we already have flour mill here, sufficient for our local consumption, and unify efforts at the official window. Definitely, the man who is producing bread will not bother much, because the major source of raw material is being sourced locally. For cotton, for instance, if we are cultivating cotton and our textile mills come back on stream, and we stop importation of most of the fabrics we can produce locally, because we are producing we stop importation of most of the fabrics we can produce locally. Definitely, without being an expert in any of these areas, you will know that we are going to do well in that area, because the education of FS is not affecting us in that area, because we are not importing those raw materials. So for me, like I told you, I'm of the view that Nigerian government, not government anyway, Nigeria as an entity, as a country, is not right for the education of FS at the official window. Mr. Lee, let me remind you, before we left office, forex dollar exchange at the official window was 347 naira to a dollar. Today is above 1,500. The reason is not far-fetched. You are putting more pressure on the scarce dollar in our country. So the best bet is reverse that FS policy at the official window. The money you are getting from removal of subsidy on gasoline, aggressively use it to diversify into agriculture. So that once you start exporting sufficiently in agriculture to earn up more foreign exchange, you can go back to implement that policy. I think that's the way to go.
Okay, finally, before I let you go, the king of Lagos, whom you should respect and at least obey, has asked you to be more patient with Tinubu, that Tinubu will fix our problem. He has begged us that we should give him more time, that he's actually working on fixing Nigeria. Are you telling me you will not respect the king?
You are bringing in two things. You say who I should respect and obey. Whether the king of Lagos, whether the king in my place, whether the Oba of Benin, whether the Emir of Kano, I respect all of them. That is the truth. But when it comes to obey, I don't know where you are drawing the curtain. Because as it stands, what is affecting other Nigerians is equally affecting. Nobody is exempted. Because if you needed to spend 1,000, end up spending 3,000 or 4,000. Perhaps that extra, you would have used it to do maybe charity or other things. But because of the state of things, it's not even enough for you to talk of giving to other people. So when you talk of obeying, are you saying people should not protest? Because protest should not be seen as people being an opposition to the government. Protest one is legitimate. Protest is an instrument in the hands of citizens to draw the attention of government to areas where they feel dissatisfied with their policies, with their programs, and all that. So I want to encourage government to change their orientation about protest. It's an instrument in the hand of the citizen to engage government. That yes, see, we understand that government need money. There's no argument about it. Government needs money, but not at the detriment of citizens to the point we are seeing. Now you have tried the policy. You are saying that Nigerians is hitting hard on Nigerians. Nobody is saying you should go and reverse subsidy removal of gasoline. No, that one can stay, but the efforts can be suspended, and that was why our economy into agriculture, solid mineral. Understand we are doing well. We are progressing in solid mineral. Then let us see export from those areas sufficient enough to end up forests that can sustain us. Then go back and invite FS. Nobody will even know that FS is in fire at the official window. So I respect the Oba of Lagos and any other Oba for that matter, and any other traditional ruler. I respect all of them. But the issue of obey.
You follow this instruction they are giving us.
The instruction is not binding on anybody. Okay. That's the truth.
But
because if you are saying, if you are talking about instruction,
in your statement, something came up, and I just said I should ask you. Don't forget, in 2012, Tinubu said he will lead and he will sponsor a common sense revolution, and we saw then that in fact he did actually sponsor the Occupy Nigeria. But why is it that now that he is in power, he is so apprehensive? Under Tinubu, when Tinubu was leading the protest back then, in fact, they called it a revolutionary protest. We saw the pastors, the GOs, the imams, everybody. In fact, Buhari came down to Lagos State. They protested at Ganifa Army Park. But now, today, whereby the Nigerian youth who want to go out and demand for good governance in their fatherland are being told not to, otherwise they will be locked up. I mean, what has gone wrong?
There's a saying in my place. I don't know how to explain it in English, but let me try. They say he that kiss doesn't allow night to come close to his neck. So I think that's why he's playing now, because if you see, I quite agree with you. If you trace all the protests that happened under the PDP-led administration, talking about particularly subsidy removal during Jonathan, it's highly believed that the political class in Lagos State that was being led by Tinubu then were the brain behind it. And it was there's nothing wrong in the people protesting. If you notice what Jonathan did then, even if he felt removal of subsidy on gasoline was the right thing to do, when he saw that the people were opposed to it, to the point that they decided to occupy Nigeria, he reversed the policy. And today, the Tinubu is in the saddle. And nobody even say he should reverse the policy of subsidy on gasoline. Other areas of policy is what we are saying you should give attention. For instance, I had a conversation with someone who is into importation of vehicle. He said a vehicle that you buy for 1 million, for instance, in America or China, for instance, once you put it in a container, that you need about 2.4 million to clear it. So the reason you see a vehicle that was hitherto costing maybe 1.9 million before, now is about 6 million. It's because of government policy, because of tariff. The one I'm very familiar with, this Big Daddy. I think a friend of mine, when he got a fairly used one before Tinubu went into office, I'm very privy to this. It was around 1.9 million.
That's Big Daddy.
Yes, go and price it now. I think it's above 6 million now, or 5 point something.
Big Daddy.
So what I'm trying to say is, it's a function of government policy, and all these things have multiply effects. So government will look into all these areas where they make life expensive, address it. You must not do every policy, because I understand government want more money, but all this is at the expense of the welfare of Nigerians. And I think Nigerians should speak through that protest. I am not encouraging anyone to go out and destroy property. We condemned the wanton destruction of life and property during NSAS, and we don't hope to see a repeat of that. We condemn destruction that happened in Kenya. We don't want to have a repeat of that in Nigeria. But peacefully, we shall tell the government that we are not comfortable with this trajectory. Take us back to right way.
Thank you very much
Thank you
for that wonderful submission, Mr. Matthew. Yes, viewers, thank you for joining us. As we count down to the days of rage in Nigeria, to my Kenyan brothers, I want to appreciate you guys there, because honestly, you guys have enlightened us. You've shown us how it is done, and of course, we will be there right from the beginning of the protest to the very end. We'll be there. We'll be capturing it live. Just as we bring to you every morning Nigerian politics. Please, if you are watching us now, kindly like and subscribe to the channel. Tomorrow we'll come again once again to talk about the Nigerian politics and Africa at large. For now, we'll say bye. You have a nice day. Salute.